what your resting face tells people around you about you.
About how you're feeling, even when you might not even realize it, that you're actually sending off all these unconscious messages.
Yes, and they
about
can either
yourself.
be really like, oh, she's really happy, or he's really happy, they're really happy, or, oh no, what a mood they're in. And it can actually be so contagious as well.
Super contagious. Absolutely.
That's what we're going to be talking about in this week's episode of
Get Real with the English Sisters.
So watch out, your face is telling a lot about you.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you remember when we realised this?
Goodness
It was
me.
an epic moment that changed our lives forever.
I like the way you say that. It did actually.
It did. It changed everything, didn't it?
Changed everything, absolutely.
We didn't really realise that our
No.
faces had so much to say about ourselves.
No, I don't think I realised that either. I kind of just would go around my, everyday life. At the time when we first learnt it, we had small young children. And I didn't really realise how much also, the kids were actually looking at me as well, because I kind of just thought, yeah, they don't really, but no, they look at every single thing, all the micro expressions you have on your face. Children look at it, but it's not only children, it's everybody. But I do remember when I first started thinking especially about the children, and I remember I was actually, I made the conscious choice of actually having like a little smile on my resting face while I was making these pancakes in the morning for them to go to school. And I remember I turned around with this little smile on my face instead of just being in my normal resting face, which was quite probably tired and stressed, thinking, God, rush, get them to school. And I turned around and I saw my little 5-year-old instantly beam with a massive smile. And the other little 6-year-old as well. I mean, they were both so small. They were instantly happy. And I thought, goodness me, this is amazing. It wasn't like I was beaming, laughing. I just had
just a little smile.
Like a little smile like this. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see it. Just like that, just like made a
but
conscious...
It wasn't a fake smile, was it?
No,
It was like a real smile.
Kind of, but really inside
it was manufactured. It was conscious, but it wasn't
conscious.
fake.
No, obviously. I mean, maybe it was a little bit fake because I just started learning, but it was still valid.
It was no, but I think it was like a bit cheeky because you were thinking, what effect is this going to have on them?
Well, probably, yeah.
Because
we were experimenting on them.
You can tell if it's a fake smile, people will not react to it.
Well, no, that's like the air hostess smile. I was also an air hostess for many, many years. And I know what the air hostess... Hello, welcome on board. Hello, welcome on board. I mean... If you say it, sometimes you say it with a real genuine, but other times when you're really exhausted, I mean, I can remember I always trying to make a bit of an effort because I was always kind of like conscious about these things. Yeah. Obviously, that's a profession I ended up in. I wouldn't have ended up in this profession otherwise.
Yes, it was a service.
It was, yes. But
to be of service.
Well, no, to end up in the psychology kind of.
You mean the psychology?
Yeah, no, when I was an air hostess, it wasn't, that was just turned out to be an air hostess for...
Yeah, but it was still telling you a lot about people and working with people.
Gosh, I
learned so much.
So much. Goodness me.
Yeah.
It was a massive learning experience.
And to keep calm as well when you had irate passengers or
people
that,
yes.
Weren't very happy with the service or whatever.
Well, you can certainly tell from their resting faces whether they were happy or not, that's for sure.
But apparently the people that are liked the most, I was listening to a podcast and it was saying that the people that are like, this expert was saying, the people that are liked the most are the ones that like people the most. Oh. So if you like people, you're going to be liked.
Well, yeah, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, obviously, if you don't like...
It's so obvious, but you might not, when you're going about your daily lives, you might not actually realise how much your body language is affecting the people around you. Whereas if you show an interest in people and you really like them, they're going to like you back.
Well, you mean if you like... if you're not like closed off, like you enter a room where whatever it is and you're not like closed off in your own thoughts, but you kind of look around and have a little smile here and there. Obviously,
and you acknowledge people around you.
Yeah, it's that famous unconscious hello, isn't it, that we learned?
Hello.
Yeah, that we learned that years ago from Barbara Stepp and her wonderful husband. Yes. And that is so true. That's also like an unconsciously you're sending off that vibe that you're saying hello.
I'm open to listening to you.
Yeah, you're like giving off, well, you know, you could say friendly vibe nowadays. You know, just say you're giving off a friendly that's a bit of a tongue twister.
Friendly vibe.
Friendly vibe. Can't say that now. Yeah, you're giving that off, and I think that's what. But what if you don't feel like giving that off? You know,
Well,
you're
if you
tired.
don't feel like it, you won't get friendly vibes back.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
sometimes I think it may be more worth your effort to make an effort to be friendly than not be friendly. Because like, if you're going to go into a meeting and you're completely closed off, you might as well not have gone.
Well, yeah.
You'll be wasting everyone's time and your own in the end.
Yeah.
I know you
Very
have to.
true.
Sometimes you have to, but why not go with the attitude, with a good attitude, and say, look, I know I can't be bothered with this meeting or whatever, but I'm going to make the most out of it, and you might actually learn something, or something might actually be beneficial to you, or you might form a new connection with someone that's going to be helpful to you in the future.
And so what is this resting face then that we have to sort of put a little smile on?
Well, yeah.
Have this little smile that sort of creeps up.
Make sure, because some people we have resting faces, and I think as we get older, our mouths tend to, they droop down, don't they?
Not only as you get older, I think in any age.
But I think when you're younger, you tend to have more puffy cheeks. Your face doesn't seem to. I remember Mum's face as she got older, especially after she had a few strokes. She used to look
poor thing,
so miserable.
She did look really miserable. Yeah.
But whenever I used to see her, it used to put me like into a mood of sadness, or I would feel upset. Whereas if she'd had a little smile.
Obviously, she'd had a stroke, though. I mean, to be fair.
Yeah, but even before the stroke, she did tend to do that.
Yeah, she did.
She did tend to have that face she wasn't making an effort to.
She didn't really know about it.
She didn't know about it, and she wasn't making an effort to try and be smiley.
No, she wasn't. I mean, I think it's really important to make that effort with people that, not only about meetings and things when you obviously need it for your benefit, but also in the family environment. I really do think it's crucial. You don't know how important it actually is. Even like the moment you enter a room, like when you come home from work, you've got other people looking at you, other people that you've chosen to live with. And, your face immediately sends off vibes, doesn't it?
And sometimes I think we do tend to make more of an effort with people we don't know. Whereas with the people we do know and the people we love the most, we tend to make the least effort. And it's okay to have.
It's okay, yeah, because, you don't always have to be.
No, but it's also nice to make the effort to be just in the present moment and just say hello and just acknowledge, and then you can say, oh, I'm really tired, darling, or whatever.
Yes, but it starts off with
a nice warm welcome.
Yes, it does.
Without like just throwing all your
stress and anxiety
onto the other person and shouting at them maybe, or being really
which
moody.
Is very common. Say, oh, it was hell today. I had a horrible day at work and there was traffic and everything's gone wrong, and you think, goodness me. The other person can become overwhelmed. Yeah, and then
and then what happens is, instead of the other person being able to comfort you, they have some kind of resentment because they get like this anxiety off you and this stress and this like that they don't know how to deal with it, so that it makes them stressed out.
Yeah, it's so fundamental to learn how to communicate. But you can communicate these things, as you meet the person, but you can still have that kind of not super grumpy look on your face, It can be, oh, yes, it was an awful day, but you can, you can
try and look at the light side of life as well. You can have a little chuckle about it and say, yeah, it was awful, but this happened. Try and look for the funny side in life. And I think that'll help you as well.
Yes, definitely.
That'll help you, won't it?
Well, yeah, if you start seeing other human beings
As humorous.
and as, kind of each one of us has our funny little quirks in the end, and no matter who they are. The other day I was in a bank meeting and I suddenly saw the bank director. He looked hilarious because he started scratching his head. I was noticing all these unconscious cues he was giving off, like really trying to find a solution, but it almost looked like
comical.
Yes, his
gestuality.
Yes, that's it. He's just Thank you. It almost looked, it was comical. And I was, in the end, I had this little smile on my face and he looked delighted to see that.
The jolliness.
I wasn't laughing at him at all because he was a lovely person, but I was just noticing certain humorous aspects of his behaviour. And we've all got them. Like sometimes we we have funny expressions on our faces. And they're really like, they can be really quite bizarre and you can enjoy them as well.
I do.
We enjoy them, but but yes, it's important, I think, to learn to see the humorous side. That's it.
And to learn to look into people's eyes as well and learn to communicate effectively, like by really giving people your attention. The simplest thing about communicating effectively is just giving people the time of day.
Yes.
You're just listening to them and just being there with them in the moment and, considering their feelings and people. The amazing thing is that people will actually respond very, very positively to that.
Very well.
Because they will feel that there's real, genuine interest and connection there, and they'll almost be
melt.
like disarmed. They'll think, oh, what's happened? Something really
I can
weird
act.
happened.
I mean, the other day
I met a lovely person today.
I was taking my son for a medical visit, and in the end my son popped out a minute, and the doctor, obviously I'd given him all lovely vibes and unconscious hello and everything. And he started telling me about his situation, his medical situation, and saying, I don't know why I'm telling you all of this, but, I also have a similar problem, blah, blah, blah. And he went on and on. And I was giving him eye contact. He could see he was connecting. And I was thinking, isn't this lovely? We're actually connecting on a human level. It's not just a medical, sterile environment. He's actually sharing something that could be of help also to my son because it was kind of related and that. But it was really, really sweet. And I thought this is because of the way I said hello at the beginning, the way I acknowledged him as a human being, not just as a doctor, get on with it sort of thing.
Yeah.
Check me out and off, I'm on my way. I just want to get that clinical record. No, it was more than that. There was a human being there and he was being acknowledged. I think sometimes we might be so stressed in our own lives that we tend to forget that. But if you do look around and look at the people that are helping you, whatever that, the servers, the restaurant or people in the back, and you kind of look at them really, it's different. You will notice a massive difference in your life.
You will. And it'll be life-changing.
It will be life-changing.
It'll generally change your life if you start doing it.
It did ours.
It just opens up a new world. It's almost like if you haven't seen life before.
It's like it's suddenly multicolour. You notice so many things.
Bogged down in your own mind that you can't actually see outside and express yourself with other people and share the love.
Share the love. It is like having a superpower once you learn how to attune to it, because if I think about that doctor's face, I can still remember the shape of his eyebrows, the whole shape of the face. I mean, there are particular details I can still remember now. So I was really focusing into that person. And I know that, obviously, I'm a hypnotherapist, we're hypnotherapists, but it's easy for you to learn how to do it as well. Like,
just be a bit more mindful of them.
Yeah. That's it. Just be mindful. Then you'll notice the person that, gets your ticket at the train station. If you still have somebody that actually validates tickets. It's so cute.
It's unusual now.
It is unusual. Yeah, there are machines, but
Sometimes
That's why it's almost more important.
Yes, I
the
think
human
it
connection
is.
we do get is
we
fundamental.
do. It is fundamental.
It's really healing for us as well when you actually look into somebody else's eyes and get that connection. It's important, but it's really important to do it as well with our loved ones.
It is. So let us know what you think. Are you going to try this, or do you do this already? Many of you probably already know about this and do it on a regular basis, but maybe some of you are struggling, and you're struggling to make friends or form good connections at work. If you try this, you'll notice how things will turn around for you. Let us know. Please do message us on our podcast. You can. There's a little message that says message us, text us, send us a text. And also, please do come and give us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. And you can come and see our facial expressions on YouTube too, if you like.
Absolutely.
Lots of love and smiles from the English sisters. Bye-bye.